So in this week's thrilling instalment, apparently stones aren't interesting and we almost die of thirst due to a purchasing mishap. So as Brian and Rona YouTube, nobody's here. So now we make the biggest decision we make all day, don't we?
Yeah.
Do we go to the supermarket that way or that way? So this is a quiet Spanish seaside town.
With lots of empty holiday apartments and bars and restaurants that are closed obviously for the season.
It's maybe not to everybody's taste, you know. And to be honest, not so long ago we would have said it wasn't ours either.
No.
What it does have is this beach.
And they've got a good campsite.
Yeah, and there are bars and restaurants open. There's a couple of supermarkets within easy walking distance.
Yeah. Also it's got a nice wee Saturday market.
That's right, aye. But the most important thing I think for us is peace and quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, have these walks we can do every day, which we probably couldn't do in the UK with the snow and ice at the moment. Eh?
No.
And to our surprise, that peace and quiet was exactly what we needed. I mean, I worked in a shipyard and construction yards and fabrication for most of my days.
And I worked in various shops and ended up a classroom assistant while looking after the kids when they were young.
Yeah. So for us, it's astonishing to be anywhere like this.
Yeah.
And every few days, I just stop and think, how do people else get to do this? Does anybody else crave roast chicken when they're travelling? So sometimes it seems to us that long stays in Spain actually taught us how to relax, but it wasn't always like that. You see, I used to work in construction contracts and they always ended. So in between contracts, we would tour Europe on a motorcycle everywhere but southern Spain, really. We were always out of season for about a month at a time. We were very, very much tourers. We could not stand being somewhere quiet. We were always camped on the edge of big cities and towns. Really loved the hustle and bustle.
First time we toured southern Spain was in a caddy van and a tent, and himself had built a wee cookbox that everybody had to admire. He's looking for stones with holes in them.
So these little stones with holes are really interesting. What creates?
So we took his wee cookbox on a tour of southern Spain and decided that we really like the quieter campsites.
So cooking, long Spanish lunches and siesta time, that became our priority then.
We came over in a May with a GoPod and an awning and toured a few sites. Then we came back the following January and tried to stay on a site for over 2 weeks.
So we started to find out about things like long stay prices and campsites. But in truth, I think it took us about 3 years to find out what any normal people would find out in a year.
And that's a supermarket within walking distance, because then you don't have to carry the beer so far.
So we're walking back to the campsite this way because apparently stones aren't interesting. So things like pitch size can be a lot more important because it can be handy to get a little awning up in a cold January just to give yourself a little bit more living room. Also, is electricity included in the long stay rate or is it on top? Because that can get quite expensive. And what amps have you got? Have you actually got enough to meet your needs?
For straighteners and hair dryers, of course.
But maybe one of the most important things is, are the toilets and showers heated in the winter? Because we've walked along here with frost on the ground before.
With flip-flops on.
If I ask you to lift the lid on this Cadillac, you're not going to claim you do all the cooking, are you?
Yes.
So that's it from another week in paradise. So I think next week we're going to make a video, sort of a day in the life of a long stayer in Spain. Now, I don't know how that's going to go because I'm really going to try and do it in one day rather than stitch a whole week together. But exciting things do happen, don't they?
Oh yes.
I mean, only yesterday you got a can of Fanta with a ring pull missing. That was a drama.
That was a drama, yes.
And there's a wee pond over there and I once saw a frog jumping over it. So, you know, if 10 of these things happen in one day, we might actually have a video. So all that remains is to say cheerio, and I'm off to try and salvage something from the wreckage of the video we recorded this week.